Hello, I'm Kathy Gabronino and I'm here to report about the Social Security Act, or RA 1161 of 1954, as amended by the Republic Act number 8282 of 1997. So this Social Security Act was actually created for providing sickness, unemployment, retirement, disability, and death benefits to the employees. Now, as an overview, it seeks to provide replacement income for workers in times of death, disability, sickness, maternity, and old age. It is a social insurance program for all the employees of the government and to protect the people from or against poverty. Now, the limitations of the SSS law is that it's not a long succession, which means that the beneficiary only gets to avail of the benefits. However, if the beneficiary is an estate, that's an exception. Also, if there is no designated beneficiary and if the designation is void. Now, it is not also part of taxation, so there is no means for the government to actually get revenue from the SSS contributions. And it's not a public fund, but it is a trust fund by the government. Now, as a recap of the history of SSS law, it was in 1954 introduced as a bill by Representative Flora Crisologo, who was a very close ally and associate of then Senate President Ferdinand Marcos, Senator Cipriano Primicias, who was then also the Senate Majority Floor Leader with Senate President Ferdinand Marcos, and Senator Manuel Briones, who was a native of Mandaue, Cebu. And they actually based it on the report of the Social Security Study Commission, and it was enacted as RA 1161, better known as the Social Security Act of 1954. However, it was finally implemented only in September of 1957. On May 1st, 1997, President Fidel V. Ramos also signed the RA 8282, which is the Social Security Act of 1997. And there was a recent signing of the RA 11199 of the Social Security Act 2018 by President Rodrigo Duterte. Now, the salient points of the Social Security Act of 2018 include the increase or the aim to increase the funding through higher contribution rates. There's also the mandatory coverage for OFWs. There is also the pensioners receiving 13th month bonus and a lower penalty for unpaid contributions. There is the unemployment benefits and the expanded maternity leave. Now, before, the coverage was only up to employer-employee relationship, but now it also covers self-employed members. And for the compulsory coverages, they include private employees who are not over 60 years old, household helper with a minimum of 1,000 salary a month, a Filipino seafarer, upon signing of the stern contract between the seafarer and the manning agency, which is together with the foreign ship owner acting as employers. Also, employees of foreign government and self-employed persons are part of the compulsory coverage. Now, for self-employed persons, they are the bosses of their own companies, and regardless of trade, business, or occupation, at least having an income of 1,000 monthly and not over 60 years old. Who are examples of these? These are the coaches and trainers, professional athletes, jockeys, directors and script writers, as well as news correspondents, farmers and fisher folks, and workers in the informal sector. For voluntary coverages, we have the following: OFWs, the non-working spouse of SSS members, and the coverage of separated members, those who have just recent, recently been separated from work. Now, the effectivities of the coverages depend on what type of coverage you belong to. Like for compulsory coverages, we have for employees first day of employment, on the employers as well the first day of hiring employees, and the employer is given 30 days to report the employee for coverage to SSS. For self-employed, it's upon the first payment of the contribution. For voluntary coverages, OFWs and the non-working spouses, upon the first payment of their contribution. Whereas for separated members, it is on the first month when the person resumed employment. So who are those not covered by SSS? Well, these are the purely casual employees, or employees also serving on inland vessel outside the Philippines, employees serving the government and its agencies, employees of foreign governments and its instrumentalities, as well as temporary employees which are excluded by SSC regulation. Now, if you have already an SSS number, are you automatically a member? The answer is no. You must have at least paid 1 month contribution and you have been reported for coverage. Now, if you already are a member, can you withdraw your membership? The answer is no. You're already a member for life. So, who are the legal dependents of the SSS members? These are actually three. There are three of them. We have the primary beneficiaries, who are actually the legitimate dependent spouse until he or she remarries, the dependent legitimate, legitimated, or legally adopted, and legitimate children who are not yet 21 years old. If the member is single and without children, then the benefits will go to the dependent parents, who are also considered as secondary beneficiaries. And other than the parents, there are also other designated beneficiaries. Now, what are the obligations then of the employers? First is to make timely report of the employee's coverage. And aside from timely report, there must also be timely remittance of the premiums. Now, what happens if the employer fails? SSS will still cover the employee, but the employer will be criminally or held criminally liable. And there is also a 3% monthly penalty in case of failure to make timely remittances. If the business ends, you can already file and declare that so that you will not be required to pay remittances. So what are the benefits from SSS? These are actually the 7 benefits. We have sickness, maternity, disability, retirement, death, funeral, and the unemployment benefit. For the sickness benefit, that's the first. It is given to any member who is unable to work due to sickness or injury. It is equivalent to 90% of the member's average daily salary credit. So to learn more about the sickness benefit, let's watch this. video. So that's the SSS benefit, which is sickness benefit, which is actually a daily allowance for those who cannot work due to injury or sickness. So at least there should be 4 days confinement at home or in a hospital in order to avail, and 3 monthly contributions within the 12-month period before the semester of the illness. And if yes, you stop all his company sick leaves with pay, and he has also notified the employer or SSS. Alright, for FAQs. If there is any prescription to the claim, yes, for hospital confinement, there should be a filing of the claim at least 1 year from the last day of confinement, or within 1 year. And for home, also 1 year from the start of the illness. What is the effect then of the failure to make timely report and claim? Well, the prescribed period, if it actually has prescribed, it will result to denial of the claim. Our second benefit is the maternity benefit, which is a daily cash allowance to female members or unable to work due to childbirth or miscarriage. It's 100% of members' average daily salary credit multiplied by either 60 days for normal delivery or 7 to 8 days for cesarean delivery. To learn more about it, let's watch this video. So, who can actually avail? Female SSS members who gave birth, suffer miscarriage, abortion, as a recap, has paid 3 monthly contributions within a 12-month period immediately preceding it, and 60 days maternity leave for normal delivery and 7 to 8 days for cesarean delivery. Now, for the expanded maternity leave law, there are already added benefits. For the maternity leave, it's already expanded up to 105 days paid maternity leave, with 7 days of it transferable to fathers, which is actually an optional transfer of leave. And then for single mothers, there are additional 5 working days paid leave, and then 30 days extension without pay. And of course, for paid maternity leave shall be granted in case of miscarriage, 60 days. Now, the SSS actually has given up to 70,000 pesos worth of benefits for the maternity benefit under the expanded maternity law, which is an added bonus also to all our expectant and new mothers. How many deliveries are covered? Only for the first 4 deliveries or miscarriages. And if there is already an application of the sickness benefit Um, can you also apply that if the maternity benefit has been applied? No, as a rule, only one benefit can be applied for and claimed by the member within the same period. Now, the third benefit is the disability benefit, which grants cash benefits, either monthly as a pension or a lump sum amount. And these are given to members who are permanently disabled, either partially or totally.
Laking tulong ng buwan ng 7,900 na disability benefit. Sulit mga kontribusyon ko.
Sa SSS, benepisyo ay maasahan. Kontribusyon, sulit na sulit. Sa SSS, proteksyon sigurado.
So the disability benefit is actually given to members who are no longer able to work or have or generate income because of disability, either permanent or partial. So to learn more about it, let's watch this. So that was the SSS disability benefit. Is the monthly pension actually for life if the member suffers from total permanent disability? He or she shall receive the monthly pension for life, but there are also causes for suspension. One, if there is recovery from the permanent total disability, and if the member actually goes back to employment, and also if there is a failure to report for the annual physical exam upon notice by the SSS. Now, the fourth benefit is the retirement benefit. It is a cash benefit granted to any member who can no longer work because of old age. It can be in the form of monthly compensation or lump sum amount. And so, at least the member has paid off at least 120 monthly contributions to SSS. And to learn more about it, let's watch this video. So the questions with regard to retirement benefits, are they entitled to 13-month? Yes, they are entitled to 13-month pension payable every December. And are they automatically considered members of the PhilHealth? Yes. He and his legal dependents are entitled to hospitalization benefits. For the fifth benefit, we have the cash or the death benefit, which is a cash benefit granted as a monthly pension or also as a lump sum amount. This is given to the beneficiaries of a deceased member. Now, who can avail? Those members who are 60 years old and below, and members who have made at least 36 monthly contributions, 12 months of which should have been paid within the last 18 months prior to separation. Again, to recap, watch this video on death benefits. Now, moving on to the sixth benefit, this is the funeral benefit, which is a funeral grant of 20,000 pesos paid to whoever actually paid for the burial expenses of the deceased member. So it can be paid in cash or in kind. To learn more about it, let's watch this. benefit from SSS is the unemployment benefit, which can only be availed once every 3 years, starting from the date of involuntary separation from work. Now, to learn more about this, let's watch this video. Again, as a recap, only laid off workers can benefit from the unemployment benefits of SSS. So, also those who are involuntarily unemployed are entitled. And this benefit is only good for 2 months only, which means that the member can only receive them once in every 3 years as well, so that it can help you facilitate or maybe fund your job hunting mode. Then there is also a criteria to meet. You must be 60 years old and below and must have paid 36 months or more for your monthly contributions. Remember, it's not a loan, so you have to make sure that in addition to the other 6 existing benefits, qualified members can only avail. Now, who are disqualified to avail of it? Those who are involuntarily separated because of serious misconduct, willful disobedience of lawful orders, gross habitual neglect of duties, fraud or willful breach, trust or loss of confidence, omission of a crime or offense, and analogous cases. So moving on to dependents pension. And this is actually equivalent to 10% of the member's monthly pension, or 250 pesos, whichever is higher. And each dependent child conceived or legally adopted on or before the date of retirement of the member can avail of this, but not exceeding 5 in number. Now, again, only the legal dependents can avail of the dependent's pension. And how long? For as long as the dependent can receive them before they reach 21 years old. And if the dependent dies, of course, he or she can no longer avail. If the defendant is already gainfully employed, if he or she marries or enters into a common law relationship upon 18 years of age, and upon 18 years of age while having such a common law relationship. So what are the other benefits of SSS? We have come to a part where we must part our ways, but for more other benefits such as the salary loan, business loan, and housing loan from SSS, please do visit SSS website www.sss.gov.ph/SSS or download the SSS mobile app on your app store. Now, this has been the conclusion to a very wonderful event, very meaningful journey of finding out what is the SSS or Social Security Law. This is Min Kathy. Thank you so much all for listening. God bless.